My question is, should Premier League footballers continue to take the knee?
Now, there's been lots of discussion about this, whether Premier League footballers should continue to take the knee. They started, of course, taking the knee in support of Black Lives Matter after George Floyd's murder in May 2020. And then the gesture has been performed everywhere at all Premier League matches since then. But apparently going forward, the gesture will only be seen at certain matches, including the Boxing Day fixtures and cup finals. Now, Nick, I know you've spoken a lot about this before, so you must have some thoughts about this. Am I right thinking you're a bit sceptical about Black Lives Matter as a movement?
What a generous way of putting it. Yeah. I've been criticised for like everything. Well, the problem I had with this was, obviously, Black Lives Matter, radical organisation, seems to be a far-left organisation, seems to endow the owners with a certain number of mansions, allegedly, we can't talk about. So Black Lives Matter has been exposed as a bit of a scam. But my problem was always... By the way, they did the kneeling today. I watched Man United get beaten today, unfortunately, and they did the kneeling. Oh, an anti-United guy there. Sadly, that's my team. We're not doing as well as we used to. But they kneel today, so they're going to kneel on certain occasions.
Right.
The start of the season was deemed one of these occasions. Now, if it's a good gesture, do it. If it's not, don't do it. Why only for special occasions? We'll bring it out on Boxing Day. It's absolutely bizarre. My problem with it always was it's a specific political, controversial organisation. And what Sky Sports and others did, they started trying to gaslight us and say, no, it's just an anti-racism gesture. Meanwhile, the specific BLM logo was emblazoned on the screen and on the advertising boards. It's like, Martin Tyler, who are you fooling? We know what this is. So the big mistake they made, whether it was deliberate, I say mistake from my perspective, we used to have campaigns like kick out racism, give racism the red card. Everyone was behind them. Everyone was anti-racism. Black Lives Matter was very different. It was a highly politicised, highly controversial organisation. And that's why, the kneeling is forever tied with that.
I mean, you can't divorce the kneeling gesture from that movement. And, of course, I suppose because of the name of the movement, Black Lives Matter, is rhetorically very effective, because if you oppose it, people say, so you think Black lives don't matter?
Yeah.
And, of course, that's not what it's about. And you'll remember on the website of Black Lives Matter, there were all sorts of things like, we need to dismantle cisgender privilege, the nuclear family.
Blah, blah.
So there was all sorts of other things wrapped up in this movement. It wasn't just about George Floyd.
And it was quite authoritarian too, like many woke movements. So if you expressed any dissent from the BLM agenda, you could get cancelled. So the Free Speech Union went to bat for a guy. He was a fan of a Premier League football club. He booed when the players in his club took the knee before a game.
Yes.
He was identified using kind of smart technology. His season ticket was suspended. He was hauled before this kangaroo court. We had to get him a barrister to stand up for him and say, no, he wasn't booing because he's a racist. He was booing because he disapproves of the agenda of BLM. And if the players are entitled to express their free speech on the pitch, why shouldn't the fans be able to say how they feel about it in the stands? But my main objection to taking the knee is it was just completely pointless. It was just virtue signalling nonsense. I mean, it kicked off in the 2020 to 21 season. And in that season, of the 92 clubs in English football, 7 had black managers. 7. So it was clearly completely ineffective when it came to making the English Football League a little bit more diverse. And where are we playing the World Cup this year? We're playing it in Qatar, where the stadiums were literally built by slaves. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Do you think they
pointless virtue signalling?
Will they be making gestures against the Qatari government while they're there? Do you think?
They might stretch to wearing rainbow laces, perhaps, even though it's still a crime punishable by death, I think.
Yeah, well, that would actually be impressive if they wore the rainbow flag in a country where it's actually being gay is illegal and punishable by death. I'd be behind the rainbow flag. But flying it outside of Wagamama, it doesn't achieve anything, does it?
That's correct. And it's worth pointing out some players like Wilfried Zaha did protest against the foolishness of it. He refused to do the kneeling. Some of the players think it is an anti-racism gesture. They don't see it as associated with BLM and understand that. And also, just on the fans, it's assumed by people like Gary Lineker they're automatically racist, as if they're all thick. But actually, they're perfectly sophisticated. They understood that, no, this is something different. This is an organisation we just don't believe in.
You know, well, Gary Lineker's a misogynist now, isn't he, because of that tweet
That's
he did?
True.
That's what
he understands the BLM cause because he's dark-skinned and he experienced something like that.
That's right.